Hey up guys, what's going on and welcome back to York City where there are 4 games left to play in our first year in the Premier League. Now if you're new to the series you may be surprised by that sentence, first year in the Premier League, considering, yeah, we're 6th with 54 points, we're in the European spots as things stand, and frankly there's not a lot left to settle in the Premier League. There's one big game next match week, but all 3 relegated sides haven't been decided. 3 of the Champions League spots have already been sorted out. It's really this European spot and the title itself still left to sort out, and the big thing is Liverpool play Man City next game week, so realistically by the time we play Liverpool the game after that, they might have already sealed that title, which could work in our favour. But today is Arsenal and they're fighting for that Champions League spot, so it's going to be a toughie to start with. Now you saw on the previous page that Southampton had the same number of points as us. They've already played this weekend though. But of course if we lose to Arsenal then we will end up on the same points at the end of this week. And Everton play alongside us. They're playing Leicester away. And Leicester of course now safe from relegation because that's already been decided. There's a completely pointless in terms of the table North East derby on the cards here. But pride's the thing. Now we only have the one major injury now. I say that because Wilson's also injured recently off the bench. That's the only real news to speak of. Velasquez, as we suspected at the end of the last one, isn't quite ready. 86% returning to fitness. He might be okay for the bench, actually. But yeah, Wilson's out of this one, as is Shao still, of course. That 3-week injury still well underway. Which means, of course, the formation is largely familiar. It's Best, Coleridge, Medina and Laird on the back line with Dutra behind in goal. Lentas, Grimes and Maxence in the midfield, whilst Velasquez is out. Madeira Neves back, of course, and then Foreman up front. You know what? Escobar gets the nod on this one. Foreman, despite scoring 2 very early on in his loan spell here, 6.66 over the last 5 games. Escobar rocking the 6.98 over the course of the season still, and over the last 5 games as well. So we'll give him the nod for this one. I'm hoping a little bit more from Best. He's pretty much the only first teamer, significantly lower than everyone else. Goalkeeper excluded, of course. Now we will start balance. I did tick that over there. Now they are playing Hamza Chowdhury in defence, which is slightly curious. He can do it, and just missing heading really. A few regens in there already. Marcos Aurelio. I feel like that's a Shakespeare character. Really good though. Stockbridge is a poor one. He's a England player as well. And Janino at left back is, yeah, he's good. Although he is centrally normally as well. So I'm guessing left back's been an issue. We owe Arsenal after the last match. I think we lost. We have beaten them at some point. Must have been a friendly. So the match to pay attention to, of course, is Leicester versus Everton there in the middle, because they're the only ones that can catch us right now. Tottenham could make a late charge, but of course if we get any points here, they'll be more than 6 points behind, and it will be quite remarkable if they don't. Now, I have noticed there that Jude Bellingham scored for Newcastle, and if they're going down, that might be someone to try and acquire for English quotas. Arsenal have scored. I just wanted to finish my sentence first. It's William Saliba, a player that I didn't initially realise actually is there originally. But yeah, it's a great header from a great set piece, really. But yeah, Bellingham there playing for Newcastle. That could be someone to try and acquire. I thought Norwich had him. That might be on the Southampton stream save. Well, it's a thrilling first half. We've got to 38 minutes without any further incidents. There's a penalty involved. Oh, God's sake. Real Madrid has given away a penalty. Our best player, arguably, for the entire season, has now given away the penalty. Now, we have 4 games remaining. We've got the home match against Sheffield United to come today, and the final match of the season is away at West Brom, who you can see are already relegated as well. So, sensible estimates say we probably should get 3 points off both of those games, which means we would end the season with a frankly ridiculous 60 points. We're 2-0 down to Arsenal now, and Liverpool, whilst they may not have to try should they beat Man City in the next game, may end up taking 3 points against us, of course, anyway, even if they don't want to try because they're Liverpool and ridiculous. But 60 points is an absurd number of points for a team just recently promoted. Now, I mean, you look at the table as well. I mean, Stoke are 4th and comfortably... Stoke are 10th with 44 points and comfortably mid-table. Maxence has just decided to smack that in. I don't know what was going on there defensively. I was too busy looking at the table on the left-hand side there as that went in. But he was left in all the space by the looks of things. So the throw in from Coleridge on the right-hand side here. Grimes heads it onto Maxence, who just peels away from his marker and just smashes it in. That is lax defending from Arsenal there. So we could end up with 60 points here. Stoke could easily end up with over 50 as well, and they're promoted with us. Only Sunderland have struggled out of the 3 promoted sides this year. Leno to Saliba. Back to the goalkeeper. And there's not a lot of shots in this game, actually. We're in the second half now, 55 minutes gone, and there's only been 10 shots in total. We've had 63% of the possession against Arsenal. What? For a team that is, notorious for trying to walk it in, how have they had 37% of the possession in their own? That's where Wan-Bissaka is. We raised the question a while ago where Wan-Bissaka was because Man United didn't have him. This is where. 70 minutes gone, not really a lot happening in the second half. It's not largely a massively disappointing performance, just a couple of 6.5s further forward. And whilst they're motivated, I'll give Madeira the benefit of the doubt a little bit longer just because he has been the better performer over the course of the season, of course. And, well, this is being played out from our backline. Medina on the ball here to Coldridge. And it's made its way out to Madeira on the left, sort of. Maxence takes over. Madeira is running forward, but Escobar's made the run on number 20, and Leno saves that one wide. We are only one goal down, of course. And we have the better average rating, despite losing. Maxence. Saliba heads that one to safety, and this corner came from that previous chance, so I'm not expecting a lot. Okay, he's booked now as well, so on comes Alonso. Not really sure I need to make a third. Obviously, left back's an issue just in terms of getting a player on to play there anyway, but, well, literally nothing else happened in that second half there. Ethan Les picked up a 10th yellow card of the season. That could be problematic, depending on how many of those have been in the Premier League. I'm actually going to say good effort. It was a good effort. On the base statistics, it was pretty even. And Sunderland get the bragging rights for the time being in the North East. Notably, though, Everton lost. So, 54, 54, 51, 3 games to play. If we can just briefly turn our attention to the curious case of Tony Ebersbach for a moment. Now, of course, we signed him in League 2, the second season, for 1.8 million after we got that windfall from the Ben Godfrey 10% sell-on fee. We brought him in then, and at that point, he had a potential that tended to fluctuate between Premier Division and Championship. That's pretty much where he's settled. So, shout out to our coaches on that one, and scouts. So, weirdly, actually kind of accurate for once. He has gradually improved year on year in terms of his overall performances as well. He's had issues with injury. It tends to be little ones that takes him out for a match or two at a time, never really having a big one. A big 3-month or anything like that, like Velasquez. Last year in the Championship, he became a bit of an assist machine and went a little bit under the radar in terms of praise, at the very least. This year, 8 goals. Very much has gone under the radar again for a different reason. 7.02 average, his best yet, and there's still 3 games to go. I just wanted to give him a little bit of a praise. I just wanted to give him a bit of a showcase, considering he does go under the radar a little bit. I think, you look at his statistics in general, he's basically maxed out here, which, fair enough. Going forward and progressing further in terms of the Premier League, Europe, challenging for the title over the next few years, I don't think I'm going to look to sell him as such, but he won't be the starter going forward. That's much is clear. You sign these players in League 2, in League 1, that might have Premier League potential. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them don't quite get there. Some of them take massive injuries. We look at Velasquez in that regard. Some of them do work out, like Madeira, for instance. But I think he has something to play for the squad. He does enjoy the big games as well, which is pretty useful. But he was arguably the biggest risk. He was the one that we signed throughout the years that it cost the most, I think. I'm pleased that he's actually finally getting there as well. It's weird that a lot of these players have finally sort of come into their own at the highest level. Well, I jinxed Velasquez, didn't I? 3 to 4 weeks. That's him out for the rest of the season. That's his biggest injury this year, annoyingly. Like, he is improving. He's apparently 3.5 stars, but he's only played 87 games in the 4 years he's been here now. The injuries are starting to add up a bit. We discussed him a little bit last episode. He's our second best midfielder, apparently, but honestly, we're going to need to get someone more reliable. Christian Best and Lewis Foreman are also out of this match. They've injured themselves in training. Lewis Foreman injured in an accidental collision. I wouldn't be surprised if it's with Christian Best's knee. Now, while Southampton play Leicester here today, we also have to keep an eye on this Liverpool-Man City match because it may seal the title and may mean Liverpool give their all to the Champions League and don't even really give a stuff about us when they play us in the league afterwards. Everton play tomorrow, which is a bit awkward. So what these injuries mean for the team as a whole is that Littler steps into central defence where Coldridge shifts over to cover left back for now. He is pretty competent actually at it, 2.5 star. As competent as Littler is in central defence, in fact, and Laird on the right-hand side. So it's not like it's a huge downgrade. Lentas in the anchorman role, Dutra is of course in goal. Grimes and Maxence stays there because Velasquez isn't back. Ebersbach and Madeira still there, and Escobar was up front anyway, so former space on the bench taken by Stephen Robertson for a rare appearance. In fact, he's not actually played a game yet. Neither has Ben Squires, who makes the bench now, of course, as well. And we're at home to Sheffield United, so we will start it a little bit more positively. I love the fact that Sheffield United persist with this formation, even without Chris Wilder. Sheffield United are in 19th place in the form list. We're 11th. Let's show them why we're average. Although, admittedly, 3 of the big 6 are in that. The fact that we're 11th even with those 3 massive games against massive teams. Media highlight. Yeah, the fact where we are in the form table, considering that, is, yeah, that's good. Grimes, Lentas, and now Madeira on that left-hand side. He's charged into the middle. Is he going to go himself? He's going to kick it against the defender. Ebersbach's going to take over. Doesn't get a shot in. Escobar's going to take over. He does get a shot in. It's 1-0 after 24 seconds. And I need to breathe. But there's all this Madeira money. He just makes the defence think. The defender does get a leg out there. Ebersbach gets another leg in there. It stops him from doing anything, but doesn't quite stop the run of Escobar, who nips in from Laird's cross and puts it away. 8th goal for Escobar. Been out of the side for actually a couple of months at this point. Now, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Everton don't actually play until tomorrow, although I noticed there on the top left that Southampton have already conceded, which does put us with a 3-point buffer with them as things are. Mousset's through. He's made it 1-1. 2 shots, 2 goals. Well then. Yeah, that's not great from us. What exactly happens here? Mousset just goes between the 2 defenders as if they weren't even there. 5 goals for Lys Mousset this season so far. What a haul for him. Maybe he's had reason to be out of the side. Maybe he's not played all the matches. But it's not exactly been prolific for anyone in this division. Like, if we just pause it here, like, the top 3, 80 goals, 85, 80 goals, that's kind of what you expect. Chelsea and Arsenal, 50, 60-ish. Southampton with 58 goals and Everton with 52. But Tottenham here, 39. This is where things start going a bit weird. And there's just not a lot of goals in, basically, even, weirdly, Sunderland have 41 goals with a minus 44 goal difference. Sunderland have scored more goals than all the teams all the way up to 13th place here. They've just conceded a hell of a lot more. And realistically, it's only Leicester and West Ham all the way up to Tottenham. I mean, you look at that. We're already at 37 goals. So many of these teams have barely outscored more than 1 goal a game. I said it a couple of hours ago. It's not been the most prolific of seasons. 52 goals. I'd say it's not a massive amount for a Premier League side, but nonetheless, with the amount that we've conceded, it leaves it with a 17 goal difference because no one's scoring against us, apart from Sheffield United. And Big 6 teams, really, they're the only ones to do much damage to us. Maxence puts that one in. It nearly goes in the goal. Littler. That might be the end of the highlight. Good save. Or it may continue. We'll find out shortly. Lentas is dispossessed, and that was the end of the highlight. There we are. Liverpool winning. Title sealed. Coleridge on the left-hand side. Lentas in the middle here. Probably going to square it out to Laird, and he does indeed. Laird's dispossessed by Pittman, but Laird will get onto that ball first. Recovers from that faster than the defender's slide did. Lentas, I'm worried he was about to get dispossessed there, but he does hold on to it. Lentas does get closed down quite a lot, I've noticed already. Coleridge, though, Madeira, gets out of it, though. Maxence, I had to take a pause there for a second because I'm pretty certain what happened there is Maxence kicked the ball towards the goal and it just hit Escobar and ricocheted onto the post as a result. I don't think that was intentional by Escobar. 3D would have solved it, possibly, but I'm actually going to say far from pleased. We've not been the better side here. Oh, tell a lie, we have, actually. Last time I saw the stats, Sheffield United were on top. Medina, though, back post, hits a crossbar. Would work twice now, yep. But with Everton losing, we do actually take... with Southampton losing, we do actually put a point gap between us and them. Maxence, he's had a crack. It's not exactly Grimes level of quality that, but close enough for it to be a highlight. And suddenly, we're getting quite a lot of highlights. Grimes on this ball. Inwards to Lentas, closed down by number 33 this time, but he finds Coleridge on the left. Odd pass, Madeira didn't really notice it at first, but did get on the end of it in the end. But it is tackled and it finds its way to Grimes and Lentas once more as we restart with Coleridge. Why the highlight didn't start with that bit, I don't know. More pay though, as we're dispossessed once more. Closed down by number 25, I think that's Jensen Littler. Hawkins cannons it against number 16, and Madeira is now free to run out their defence. I'm seeing the switch to number 10. Oh, he can go himself and find Escobar. Never mind. Just going to demand a little bit more on the hour mark. Now, Marcus Dewhurst has got the number 1 shirt for Sheffield United now. I did look at him. I don't know how good he's actually got on this particular one. He's not brilliant on my Southampton one yet. I know that much because I looked to bring him in as a backup there, potentially. But no, he's not developed on that one. He possibly has more here by the looks of things. May check him out afterwards. Ebersbach, Grimes. Back to Ebersbach. Because, of course, this is the save where we have the foreign player limit. So if I had a backup Englishman, that would be useful in the goal. Hawkins on this right-hand side. Plays it backwards and inwards to Will Hughes, who's made his way to Sheffield now. That's a lovely ball across to Pittman. Has to be admired that one. And Mousset heads over, thankfully. So the demand more's gone through. They're focused. And with a corner. So this highlight begins with this corner. We'll pay attention to it with much reverence. Lentas gets a shot in. Block. Highlight, I think that may have been. I'm not a big fan of the block highlights. Some of them, in 2D, the block highlights at the very least, are a bit weird at times. You don't really get to see how good the block is in 2D. But you do get to see how good Grimes' long-range ability is. Whew! He's done it again, folks. He only scores screamers. He reminds me of, if anyone watches this who was with me last year on the Burnley stream save, he reminds me of Antonin Barak. He didn't score all that often, but he scored when he did. It was always from a position like that. But James Grimes, 3 goals for the season, twice recently in fact, and all of them outside the box. Considering how good James Grimes is as a playmaker in general, I won't be surprised if he's pretty good at free kicks as well. I might have to look into that situation because I notice he's not taking them all the time. His free kick taking's only 10, weirdly. Ebersbach's not exactly being rubbish, but he's on a 6.7 and is theoretically the weak link. And with Lentas on the booking on a 6.7, Brendan Squires is going to make his first Premier League appearance. Wilson was returning to fitness. I just sort of overlooked him. I noticed him as I clicked through. I could have put him on the bench. Madeira's looking nervous for some strange reason. So Alonso comes on there. We'll stay positive. We'll see this one out. And it looks like Liverpool have indeed sealed it up there. 2-0. Barely any seconds to go. 2-1 here at the York Community Stadium, otherwise known in real life as the LNER Stadium. And a bit of a let-off. I mean, it's a good win in the end. We'll say that. Sheffield United are mid-table. And Southampton were beaten 3-0 by Leicester in the end. Leicester are currently just ruining everyone's European hopes. How did we do against them? Oh no, we beat them 2-0. Whilst Escobar has been out of the team for quite a while, he had also racked up 8 hours apparently without scoring a goal before his first minute strike against Sheffield United. That's a way to get a goal again. Which of course leaves us with the 2 games left, Liverpool and West Brom. 2 teams with very differing fortunes this season. Liverpool already champions, a 5-0 win against Everton amongst their victories this year. They keep doing it. And West Brom already relegated. So 2 teams with literally nothing to play for anymore. And as a result, may, at the very least on Liverpool's front, give us a little bit of leeway. West Brom can still get an extra couple of million out of finishing 18th rather than 19th. So they've still got something to play for, in a sense. But with 2 games to go, Everton to play tomorrow, they might end up with 54 points as well by the time we next meet. It could be a situation where we're on 57 points and 2 teams directly behind us on 54. Tottenham out of it, I think, at this point. So 3 teams to go for 2 European spots, depending on, of course, the FA Cup finale. Man United won the Carabao, I believe, so 6th definitely is providing Europe as things stand. The FA Cup's between Leicester and Tottenham, neither of which are going to get into 7th, probably, which means it's all down to 6th place, so it's actually, in fact, 3 teams fighting for 1 EuroLeague spot. Tomorrow's episode just got that little bit more dramatic. Until then, ta-ra.